I'm Matt. This is the episode where we say the words big cloaca. Cole, open your mouth, prepare your tongue, because you're about to get a taste.
I cannot believe we've gone 12 episodes without me being able to talk about Final Fantasy.
Well, I know the doll is bad, so I gotta think the Dusty Balloon is less bad.
I mean, if all life everywhere ends, what have I lost?
Facial hair as a theme is not something I ever would have chosen.
So yeah, that's the one that Rock is just sweaty the whole time.
He's got that good pointy Jafar beard.
I've got 3 pages of AMA citations.
This is the Debate This podcast.
Hello, welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this podcast, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and how I'd love to talk about a third thing, maybe a recent announcement or a new game, but my life is just Fire Emblem Three Houses. It is only Fire Emblem Three Houses, and that's all it will ever be till the end of time.
How many times have you beaten Fire
3
Emblem
times.
Three Houses?
It's 3 times.
Are there
Matt.
any more storylines left?
There are
Nope,
4.
that's one for each house, Todd.
There are actually 4 storylines, so I'm not even done yet.
Jesus.
So
And I'm pretty sure Nintendo plans on DLCing it until the end of time.
they're gonna keep adding.
keep
They're just
people-
gonna keep adding houses.
to keep people like Andrew hooked to this game for the rest of their lives.
Fire Emblem housing development.
Every time they do a DLC, they add pajamas and they add 20 hours to the game.
Pajamas.
Yep, that's what they do. Have you dove into Fire Emblem Heroes yet? The mobile game.
I've downloaded it now 3 times, and
What?
One for every house.
One for each house.
I can't like get into those gachapon games. Like I'll play them while I poop for a couple times for like a couple of days at work, but
Yeah.
I can't get into it. Have you?
I played it for a while when it first came out because I had a lot of downtime at my AV job at OSU, but
At
no,
Higher
since-
Education Authority named redacted.
Yes, and have since deleted it because, again, just like you, I was like, well, I could keep playing this, but it would require me to spend about $200 a month to keep competitive.
Yes.
And I don't know how people or why people do
Yep.
that.
And I can see on our video chat that we're losing Todd. So let's talk about something else. Today,
Went straight to Instagram.
we're gonna
Because the only thing I care less about Fire Emblem Three Houses is Fire Emblem mobile game.
You look like my wife every time I talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses.
We'll
Anyway.
get you, Todd. We'll find that hook that brings you in.
We're going to talk about a different Agent of Chaos. In fact, our favorite pink Agent of Chaos, Kirby. You like that segue?
Woo!
Were we talking about an Agent of Chaos before this?
I don't know.
Yeah,
That
I
was-
don't remember that.
Okay,
was
It's a weird
moving on.
segue.
That was my segue. Anyway, we've already presented to you a few different ways that Kirby can mix with other universes. We've talked about them a few times now. Ways to elevate himself to a full-on nightmare. But now we felt it was really time to dive in on the concept. As we all know, Kirby has the ability to swallow his enemies and harness their energies by digesting them. Digesting.
We try not to look too much into
It's
it.
best not to get into it.
Something pocket dimension.
Now, normally those enemies are cute little puffs of fire or a little cyclops that shoots a beam from its eye. Harmless, cute little monsters in the Disney sense. But
That sentence made me think of Kirby swallowing Mike Wazowski, and I like that.
yeah,
Oh, I thought Scott Summers and also liked it, but that's fine.
I guess both can be right.
Fantastic Four is a Marvel property, so
Yeah.
Scott Summers is now a Disney monster.
Scott Summers is X-Men, but yes.
Shit.
We have a comics podcast.
Oh my god.
Andrew, you have
what
no
are we
room to
doing here
talk.
today?
Even
get
I knew
control of
that.
this.
This is going off the rails quickly.
But what if the enemies that Kirby was ingesting were not cute little monsters, but rather a team of psychotic mercenaries, each with superpowers more inexplicable than the last?
Go
Well,
on.
that sounds incredible.
So incredible, it might be worth talking about, huh?
Let's do it.
Well, we always need a flimsy...
Let's
Kyle,
scrap whatever we were
let's
going to
do
talk
it.
about today and talk about this instead.
deal. We know we always need a flimsy setup. So we here at Debate This Counterterrorism Inc. have just been awarded a
God.
contract. We've just been awarded a contract to stop the efforts of the villains pulled from the Metal Gear Solid series. The client has given us a single Kirby as our only weapon against them. Because they did.
A single Kirby.
So it's up to us to figure out which of those villains Kirby should consume to give us the best fighting chance. As always, I'm joined today by Todd, Nanomachines Thomas, Kyle, Fishin' Mailed Harper, and Matt, You're Pretty Good Cole.
Hey, thanks. That was really nice.
You're welcome.
Fish and mailed is pretty good.
I'm imagining like all the bureaucracy involved with like letting a team of military scientists have a Kirby to like experiment on because they're such volatile like beings of chaos. That's all. I like the setup for this.
And the fact that their weapon is one Kirby.
Yes, a single Kirby.
A single Kirby.
So I want to clarify that we have one Kirby and we have to beat all the Metal Gear bosses, but we get to pick one Metal Gear boss for Kirby to inhale for us to then use to beat all the other bosses. Yes?
That is the setup that I have created.
So we could also title this What If Kirby Were Mega Man? And also the Robot Masters were Metal Gear bosses.
So before we talk combat strategy,
Oh, wow.
Shut up, Matt.
I'm sorry.
I want you each to go around, excluding Matt, and tell me which of the classic Metal Gear Solid series bosses that you want Kirby to target. Now, I realize none of you guys have played Metal Gear Solid, so this is going to be fun. Now the deal is, Matt, once Kirby inhales your chosen boss, what power manifests? Let's start with Todd.
I knew it was my turn, and I didn't want to say anything. So, Andrew, right?
Yes, Todd.
Remember Psycho Manus from like one of the most, I guess, like well-known, probably bosses of all time?
I do. He could read your memory card.
Yeah, so I'm going to do you one better and give you Screaming Mantis, right?
It's not better.
So it is better because, so Screaming Mantis, gonna give it to you. And by it, I mean psychological warfare due to uncontrollable emotional fits. So Screaming Mantis is part psychic, part mind controller, part Dr. Octopus, General Grievous, all horrifying. And like in her tragic backstory, she had to consume the flesh of those who died around her to survive. So like her and Kirby kind of have lots in common already.
That's
and
true.
if Kirby consumes Screaming Mantis, Kirby will basically become a small pink god amongst men. So Kirby will now be able to fully levitate, will have control over extra appendages, and will then be able to read and control the minds of those that this monster attacks. We've made the joke multiple times that Kirby is the harbinger of death, but now we have officially created this monstrosity that should just never have existed. But we've got it now, and we control it for the Debate This Counterterrorism Force, or whatever our thing is this week.
Yeah.
It's our harbinger of death. Harbinger of death.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember Goro from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, it's a metal Goro that mind controls people and floats.
Yeah, I just got that image of Kirby with 4 very muscular arms.
The rest of the body is still like pink and round, but it's just these like Machamp arms that have just protruded out of its body. You're welcome. That's what I have. And it has psychic control, so you're welcome.
All right, well, Todd really played into today's host. Definitely points for Pink Goro. Kyle, who are you bringing into the mix here?
So, similar to Todd, I went with another member of the Beauty and the Beast Corp from the Metal Gear games. Similarly, uses 4 metal appendages. However, mine is the stealth member of the team because I thought that's, if we're gonna go counter-terrorist, it's best to not see them coming. And Kirby is going to.
That's the rule.
That's the rule. Is don't let them see you coming.
Yep.
They didn't paint the stealth bomber hot pink, so yeah.
They did. Yeah. But my character is Laughing Octopus. I had to make sure I had that right.
Yeah, it looks wrong.
Screaming Octopus earlier.
It looks wrong
Octopus.
because it's stupid.
I don't know what you're talking about, Andrew. The name Laughing Octopus strikes fear into all men.
The verb animal combination is very good.
It is great.
The deal is these are all from Metal Gear Solid 4, and the point was these are like copies of the bosses from Metal Gear Solid 1. which all have those same naming conventions. So there's like Decoy Octopus and Psycho Mantis, or who your guys' people are based on.
So again, similar to Screaming Mantis, when Kirby absorbs Laughing Octopus, he's going to get 4 arms and their nice tentacly Dr. Octopus arms. But rather than an uncontrollable psychic rage that Kirby will get from Screaming Mantis, we're just going to get a nice invisible adaptive stealth suit on Kirby. So he can use those 4 arms to strike unseen, and can use the 4 walls to climb walls and ceilings, strike at enemies from a distance, grapple with opponents, all that fun stuff. But the big thing is that invisibility, which is going to let our Kirby silent striker attack from the shadows and take out our terrorist enemies before they even know what hit them.
All right. Can you imagine?
And in this case, it's an invisible pink ball of tentacles. And
yeah, imagine just like you're just like kind of, you know, standing in your post, and then all of a sudden behind you is this giant universe-eating monster who appears from nowhere.
And it just goes, hi, and just like grabs you with 4 tentacle arms and swallows you whole, and the last thing you see is you rushing towards its gaping mouth. It's terrifying, and it's our weapon, and it's great.
Is it canon that that's a cloaca? Is that canon?
I mean, by definition, Kirby's mouth is a cloaca, and I hate how many times I've said that on this podcast. I haven't said the word cloaca in any other conversation in the last decade, but here, now.
You should work cloaca more into your daily conversations, Todd.
I shouldn't, because I don't want to go talk to HR.
Todd in his agreement with Big Cloaca.
Big Cloaca is the worst for it's a ska band. That's a ska band.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, speaking of Big Cloaca, Matt, tell us who your Big Cloaca of a Metal Gear boss is going to be.
My big cloaca is going to be Vulcan Raven, the tank driver for Foxhound, which I think is from a different Metal Gear game because it doesn't have the
MGS1. Yes,
MGS1. Yeah, it doesn't have the typical naming convention. Anyway, Vulcan Raven. That guy's a like actual tank. He both drives tanks and is also tank. He is a monster of a human being who carries around an M61A1 multi-barreled autocannon, which is...
Those were words.
Those were words. And those are words that mean the actual gun they stick on the bottom of F-16 fighter planes. Like, it's a plane gun, not a gun that shoots planes.
A gun that shoots planes, but a gun for shooting planes.
a gun that shoots planes, but a gun that you attach to other planes to shoot planes. He just carries it around and also carries the absurdly huge ammo drum on his back. I was really curious. One of these guns weighs 248 pounds, and that does not count the ammo drum. The gun itself. The gun itself is the size of a person. That he just carries around.
Metal Gear Solid was released in 1998. That all tracks. 1998, guy carrying an impossibly large gun.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
It fits the mold.
Did Rob Layfield work on Metal Gear Solid 1? Because he should have.
So on top of Vulcan Raven and his massive gun, he is also like a freaking shaman. Like he was raised by Athabascans and Inuits in the deep freeze of Alaska, and he is an Alaskan shaman. He controls a horde of spirit ravens, and they can spy on and attack his enemies, and he can use the raven tattoo on his forehead to give enemies the mark of death, which renders them temporarily immobile. All of that is canon.
Yep.
And yeah, you can just copy paste that shit into Kirby.
Yeah.
Now Kirby is jacked as hell, has a gigantic gun, and controls spirit ravens, and can mark of death people. It's the best.
Why?
I am still not convinced that Rob Layfield did not work on Metal Gear Solid 1. This is preposterous.
If you want a good laugh to truly understand what 1998 was, you should watch the final. Look up the Vulcan Raven death scene, like the cutscene that plays after the boss fight. It is some racist ass shit.
Is that the blood from the east flows through your veins or something like that? Is that whole conversation?
It's some real Native American voodoo mysticism bullshit.
Oh man,
that's for sure.
And they thought it was like not racist.
Yeah,
is the best part.
It was
They
a
thought
different
they were
time.
being woke at the time.
It was as woke as the old commercial with the Native American crying as the car drives by and littering the highway. That
is not a Native American, but an Italian American actor playing that. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that's sad. Anyway, Spirit Ravens, big guns, Vulcan Raven. He's a shaman.
I'm so lost on. Okay, so I did not play through a single Metal Gear Solid game like all the way through ever. I've played bits of many of them. I'm so lost that all of these bosses had to have so many dimensions. Like, they could have chosen one or two gimmicks, but like Matt, like for again, like for mine or for Kyle's, like they've already got the 4 arms. Does yours fly, Kyle? Because mine flies.
No,
okay.
mine turns invisible though, which is
So like flying in mind control and like 4 arms, cool. Like, and then like Matt reads his off and like it's carrying an airplane cannon. Oh, also it controls spirit ravens. And it has a raven tattoo and it can mark people for death that rends them immobile.
My impression of the Metal Gear Solid games from like doing the research for this episode is that they decided on like 4 like tropes, like key anime styles, and like just took the tropes of all of them and mashed them into one game, and was just like, that's what it is.
They're all like that. All the games are like that, and that's because the characters is what the story has going for it.
Buck wild.
It's absolutely buck wild. There's a fat man with roller skates who attaches C4. He's a boss,
and he drinks wine while he's doing it. He's like hedonism bot with C4 on wheels.
There's an old man who is a sniper who just dies if you don't attack him. There's a man who is made of bees. Like,
did you say bees or beads?
Bees. Yep. His name is The Pain, and he's made of bees.
All right, can we go on to the next question? Because
is that guy from the same game that Snake smokes joints to heal?
Yes.
That's so good.
And then the screen gets all groovy and goes. Guys, Metal Gear Solid is so good.
Is it?
All right, so just to summarize, we've got Kirby as a screaming psychotic who can control your mind.
Yeah.
We've got Kirby as an octopus man, kind of 4-armed, invisible ninja. Yep. And then we've got Kirby with gun. Am I missing anything?
Well, Spirit Ravens,
and Mark of Death.
Buff Kirby shaman with guns and also ravens.
Buff Kirby. All right. Well, since
I'm only on board if that Kirby has a 6-pack.
All right, let's move on.
Does Shaman Raven Kirby have a 6-pack?
He does. Matt? He definitely does.
Thank you.
Since we only get one Kirby, one very, very buff Kirby, I need a good reason why your chosen boss will be the best option. To help me understand why the Kirby version of your boss can beat up the Kirby versions of the others. Like if I pitted them all together in some sort of 3-player free-for-all, how would your version of Kirby come out on top?
So in this Kirby battle royale, that's a picture that just got put into our shared document.
I'm upset.
Yikes! That Kirby looks like the really buff cow. If you've ever seen that, the really really muscular cow. Anyway, we'll share that at some point.
All you have to do is Google buff Kirby. Trust me.
There's not.
It'll be the episode image. Don't worry.
That'll be staying out of my internet search history.
Yeah, I don't need that. Yeah, so in this Kirby Battle Royale, I guess my Kirby with Screaming Mantis is going to mind control the next biggest threat. And so if it's coming down to who do I mind control of either like Stealthy McStab Kirby or Guns McGee Kirby, I'll probably stealth, or I'll not stealth, I'll mind control the stealth one because I'll sense him. And I'll be like, you're mine now. Now go stab the gun Kirby. And that's probably how this goes. So the bottom line is in any situation, I'm going to mind control the second biggest threat, neutralize the remaining threats. Everyone but me is boned. So this This is a real situation that I just win. That's what it is. It's fine. No downfalls to my selection.
This sounds very much like a Metal Dracula situation again, Todd.
It does. It sounds a little Metal Dracula.
Some would say this is a Metal Dracula situation.
I mean, that's great and all, but if
It is great. Thank you for saying that.
if you can't see my Kirby, if you don't know my Kirby's there, you're not going to be able to mind control it. That's how it works. Don't look into that too much. That's how it works, Todd. And if you get Guns McGee here, like, how are you going to use that against invisible Kirby? Because can't see it, can't shoot it with guns if you can't see it. Just sneak around until I'm out of your range and tentacle him up.
I've got a question, but I'll wait until you're done.
Wait, did you just say out of range, like out of range of my gun, but still in range of your tentacles?
I did. I didn't think that sentence through.
Your tentacles have longer range than my guns?
Yes.
Is this Futurama?
Yes. Shut up. What was your question, Todd?
My question is, so maybe Guns McGee can't see the invisible Kirby. Can the Spirit Ravens see invisible Kirby, Y or N?
Yeah, why? All why?
What are the rules for the Spirit Ravens?
I gotta Google that. I won't Google Buff Kirby, but I'll Google that.
Spirit Ravens can absolutely track invisible Kirby. Is it my turn? Does this just segue into my turn? We're going to segue into my turn. First off, Todd, you can suck it because according to some WoW forum I found from 2011, shamans can't be mind controlled. So you can suck on that one.
Good.
Are WoW shamans the same as Metal Gear Solid
shamans are like a thing in real world. Like, they're not based on World of Warcraft.
Well, what other literature was I supposed to find on shamans in the internet this afternoon?
Oh, I don't know. Like, how about shamans? Like,
okay, so I googled what are rules on Spirit Ravens, and it took me to the Ravens fan page where their mission is winning football games on the field. So I'm gonna say that the Spirit Ravens can in fact see invisible stabby Kirby's.
Yeah, well, just like when I googled can shamans be mind controlled, the first semi-legitimate source I came up with was a WoW forum. So
to any of our listeners who are dissatisfied with this episode, we will refund any money you spent listening to this episode.
You already made that joke. You can't make that joke 2 weeks in a row.
Did I make that joke already?
You definitely did. Anyway, so Spirit Ravens.
I stand by it.
I'll put the mark of death on Kyle, and then he can't move.
You can't see me.
I don't need to see you. It's a spirit thing. I can
the Spirit
sense
Ravens
you.
do.
Spirit Ravens, Kyle.
Are there more? Question for Matt.
Hold on. This is very important. Point of clarification.
Hit me.
One, do the Spirit Ravens go first or second after gun? Like, do you shoot out the Spirit Ravens as your spotter, or are they like cleanup?
They're first. Spirit Ravens are first.
Okay, so in this example, you would shoot out Spirit Ravens and they would find Kyle.
Right.
We're just gonna kill Kyle, I guess.
Question for Matt Spirit Ravens.
Sure.
Do you have more than 4 of them?
Yes.
All right, sorry, that's 4 legs for stabbing Kyle. I think Matt's got you in this one.
I mean, it's a literal horde. Again, to refer back to that one cutscene Andrew talked about, the Spirit Ravens literally are enough to eat Vulcan Raven after he dies. So there are a lot of Spirit Ravens.
They do that.
It's a horde.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Spirit Ravens, they're going to track Kyle, and then he gets the mark of death, and he can't move, and he gets gunned down, and then Kyle or Todd, you can't mind control me, and I shoot you with my giant gun.
Now, here's the thing.
Muscle Kirby.
Here's the thing. I googled, can ravens be mind controlled, right? And so
ravens,
ravens have human-like communication and cognitive abilities, and humans can be mind controlled. That's
okay.
Just logic.
That's interesting.
Todd,
you've been scienced. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, okay. So I have a question. I have a counter to that.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can Screaming Mantis mind control at a time?
Well, she's only ever against one bad thing ever at one time. So all of the bad things, all of them,
one at a time.
1,000% of the people in the room. Yes.
The math, Matt. The math is when when Screaming Mantis is in a fight, it controls 100% of its enemies.
Yeah,
that's
that is.
the record.
I would like
there.
to offer up an argument.
Sure.
Unbeaten and unscored upon. Well, it's definitely beaten and scored upon, but still the point stands.
I think my new goal is to just piss off the one person in this group who has played Metal Gear Solid.
So in the games,
And it's working.
Psycho Mantis / Screaming Mantis powers are shown as to be like an AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
So Todd
Ravens
is
get
right.
within range of me, and then I mind control them.
The Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore
Correct.
Ravens, whose mission is to win and win at football. When they come within range of me, I mind control them.
But Todd, these aren't ravens. Like these aren't actual birds. These are spirit birds.
Listen, man, I don't make I can't correct what the internet has given me. Much like you were given WoW shaman information, I was given
You got
I
the
was
Baltimore
given
Ravens fan page.
I was given information from newscience.com, and that's what I have for you.
Am I dying? Is this a fever dream?
You are now
no,
subscribed
I feel
to Raven
the last,
Facts.
the last 15 minutes of this podcast have made no
Hey
sense.
Kyle, if you think this is a fever dream, wait until you play one of the Metal Gear Solid games, bud. We're gonna move on because oh no, in the cutscene triggered after the last battle, it was revealed that Revolver Ocelot was actually alive, but hiding in the body of a robot, and now the robot's nanomachines have networked into a decommissioned Metal Gear and it inadvertently activated.
I can't tell if you made that up or if that's a real plot point from one of the games.
And now
Same.
Revolver Ocelot is aiming a stockpile of nukes at the shadow government operating in the basement of the Pentagon where all the real laws happen.
What?
No, this is actually like this could legitimately be a plot of Metal Gear Solid if it's not already.
It is a mix of the plot twists from MGS's 1, 2, and 4.
Is Revolver Ocelot a real character?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
he is
Oh,
like
yeah.
Okay.
he is like the recurring like anti-hero.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Also, his arm is actually Liquid Snake, who is Solid Snake's biological twin brother, who has a
Shut
British
up.
accent.
His arm is a person?
Yes, it is.
What?
Metal Gear Solid is a really fucked up game.
What was the LSD budget on the Metal Gear Solid games?
Man, I wish you guys had played these games. You would really understand.
Would we?
Fair not. But I mean, now you get all the memes because these games are cuckoo bananas. So what did I say? Revolver Ocelot's aiming a stockpile of nukes at
Yeah,
the shadow
that's the
government.
one.
That's right. So tell me how your Kirby boss is going to use its newfound powers to save us from the Metal Gear threat.
Mind control.
You're going to mind control a robot.
I'm gonna mind control the Revolver Ocelot's arm and make it punch himself because his arm is a person, as you just told me 5 seconds ago.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
say stop hitting yourself?
I mean, Screaming Mantis, like she's a badass. So the Kirby version of Screaming Mantis is even more badass. She literally has the remaining psyche of Psycho Mantis inside her mind. So her abilities are already nutso. So how much more of a stretch is it that I just mind control the boss, or in this case, the boss's weird, like grafted punching arm, and like that's what it happens. Also, like psychic powers. I don't know. That's not a weirder answer than anything else anyone else is going to say, whether it's based in fact or not.
Rebuttal?
Nope.
I disagree with a lot of the things that Todd has said today, but that last sentence, that it's not a weirder answer than anything else we're going to hear,
Accurate.
I can't disagree with that. And I'm hung up on that fact.
I'm mostly just regretting my choice of Kirby target for this episode because Matt and Todd have managed to pick very OP supernatural enemies, and mine just has a stealth suit, and I'm sad.
Aw.
But to defeat Revolver Ocelot and his person arm, I'm gonna.
You're defeating Metal Gear.
I'm defeating
Yeah,
Metal Gear.
that's what the concept is.
Okay.
Wait, what is a Metal Gear?
It's a big robot. It's a big mech unit.
So Revolver Ocelot is the Metal Gear?
No, he's a
Is not
person,
the Metal Gear.
silly.
Yes, silly.
Is he driving the Metal Gear?
In some instances, yes. In other instances, he's just getting it. So okay, so the whole thing is, right, it's like trying to, prevent this like crazy like nuclear warfare. Basically, like all these games are like analogs or analogies of like the Cold War, which is like we develop all these crazy weapons as deterrents, but really we are the enemy. War is bad. Blah 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 blah. But in this like fictional universe, like we keep creating these massive, like, because we have to keep upping ourselves in terms of weaponry. The quote unquote ultimate weapon is a bipedal tank. So it's like that's what it's called, Metal Gear, and the whole series is like these different iterations of Metal Gear, which is like the greatest thing. It's like a walking tank that can shoot nukes, and also I'm 12 and have a boner, you know, like that kind of thing. You know how you do.
I love how it's been disproven time and time again that a bipedal tank would be a terrible idea, actually, and treads are actually like the most all-terrain option available. But to answer your question, to defeat the Metal Gear, I'm gonna turn invisible, sneak around unseen, and rip it apart with my octopus arms.
Yeah, just unplug
it. Yeah, and he'll to stop the nuclear threat, he'll, you know, Kirby's small and now invisible and has 4 octopus arms. I'm gonna sneak into those missile silos and just deactivate the missiles before they can get fired, and they'll fire them and they'll be like, yes, my plan has come to fruition, and then they'll just land and not explode, and it'll be really sad for them, and they'll be emasculated and they'll cry, and I'll win.
All right,
because missiles are a metaphor for manhood, if that's not clear.
It's interesting because you were saying that you didn't have like a good power, but you're the first one to actually talk about like successfully dismantling a robot. Todd's going to try to mind control it. A robot.
Well, yeah, Todd,
I'm gonna wait. Let's not.
Todd
No.
in the weeds with his psychic abilities.
I'm going to mind control the bad guys.
Abilities.
I'm gonna mind control the bad guy's right arm, and it's gonna do all the punching and missile diffusing I need it to. Argue with me how that makes less sense than him having an arm made out of person.
Well,
Todd, again,
I can't even
got
make
caught up in the psychic of it all you didn't complete the mission.
Yeah.
The mission was prevent the missiles from going off, and I
hit the turn off missiles button with that arm.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that until we poked holes in your plan.
I just said it now.
Todd's doing side quests over here.
I just said it now.
I would like it to be my turn now.
I would also like that. Go ahead, Matt.
Big fucking machine gun.
Yep,
My turn is over. You know what works great against robots? Giant machine guns built to destroy planes. I bet they can destroy robots.
But how are spirit ravens at destroying robots?
Kyle, you've played a Legend of Zelda game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you ever attacked one of the cuckoos?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what happens when you attack a cucko enough?
No, if we're gonna compare spirit ravens to anything, they're
You're
keys.
Making
Spirit
a lot
ravens,
of stretches.
Spirit ravens are keys.
What do you mean? A horde of birds attacking you.
Okay.
That's cuckoos.
One, they're spirit ravens, not chickens, not cuckoos.
Yeah, one.
Two. Different game series entirely.
Yeah.
3. I don't have a 3,
third
but you're
one.
wrong. You're
Of course
incorrect.
it's a different game series. It's just an example of the behavior of the birds.
Nope. You are wrong.
If you're bringing any Zelda comparison, like I said,
We've let a lot of things slide this episode, and I'm not going to let you turn spirit ravens controlled by a racist Native American character. Not the character's racist, but the depiction of him is.
Ravens are keys, if anything, and everyone knows they are drastically weak against the hook shot, which is why you need to take the hook shot with you on this mission.
Nope.
And that's how you win.
That was 2 weeks ago. Todd.
It's fine.
I stopped at spirit chickens. I got stuck at spirit chickens.
If you get attacked by a horde of birds, no matter what it doesn't matter if they're cuckoos or if they're like real world vultures. I don't know. If you get attacked by a horde of birds, it's really disorienting. And so I'm going to send my spirit ravens to hoard the front of the robot so it, I don't know, distracted or some shit. And then I'm going to tear it apart with my giant fucking machine gun that I have that Buff Kirby carries.
My idea of having the bad guy punch himself isn't that bad of an idea.
It is a bad idea.
It's not that good of one either.
It's no,
This episode and probably this whole podcast is a mistake.
All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break. Think about a lot of the decisions that we've made today. Before we break, I'm going to reveal the super secret bonus question that I have written down.
I hope it's a long ad break because we got a lot of work to do.
That I have written down right here in my notes. Here it is. We've talked a lot about powering up Kirby. So let's take it in the reverse. Which Kirby power would you then map onto a Metal Gear? in order to take over the world, not with an arm made of another man who is liquid or whatever. Casey in a minute.
I'm Tom,
I'm Will.
and we're the hosts of Blasting Off Again, a new Pokemon podcast brought to you by the Upward Network.
We've decided to take on the task of watching through every episode of Pokemon, providing live commentary and in-depth analysis of everyone's favorite 90s dogfighting cartoon.
We're tackling the hard-hitting issues. Is Brock racist?
Was coughing the first ever suicide bomber?
What are the environmental implications of using Pikachu to power a building?
Will Misty ever get her bite back?
Find out the answer to all these questions and more on Blasting Off Again.
Available on the Upford Network, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We're blasting off again!
Ding.
All right, we're back. Thanks for sticking along with us. We asked for our super secret bonus question. We talked a lot about mapping powers onto Kirby in order to fight Metal Gear, so we're going to reverse that. Map a Kirby power onto a Metal Gear, which again, quick reminder, is a giant bipedal robot walking tank that shoots nukes. Map that Kirby power onto your to a Metal Gear in order to take over the world, etc., etc. Todd.
If there's one Kirby power that would make a giant marching machine even better, it's gonna be Gim's power. Who knows who Gim is?
I do.
I don't.
He's the yo-yo.
The yo-yo
bro.
guy.
Oh my god.
So our Metal Gear, our stomping bipedal monster, is now going to have one goofy arm that comes out of the side that has a yo-yo, and it's gonna swing the shit out of that yo-yo. And just when you think it's done swinging the shit, it's gonna do the sweet little head slide thing that Kirby does when you run as him when he has Gim's power. And that is how we're gonna beat the terrorists, guys.
I don't hate it.
I hate it less than most of the
I don't
other
like
things
it.
that Todd has said.
Yeah.
If it means anything to you, Matt, I hate it less than a lot of the things I've said as well.
I'll take that.
But now I've got these like giant marching T-Rex machines with a big ol' like goofy arm that's got a yo-yo.
Do they have a hat backwards because they're rad and in the 90s?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say not just because they're rad, but because it's the 90s more than anything.
Do you guys remember? Well, Matt didn't, because right. Did the other three of you have to learn how to play yo-yo in gym class, like that one year, and then yo-yos
Jesus,
were really
okay,
popular?
all right. I'm
wasn't
young,
a gym
but
class.
How old are you?
Yeah.
No.
Was that before or after Tiddlywinks and Stickball, Andrew?
No, but Andrew, we had a yo-yo like company come and give us a whole assembly on yo-yos, and then
same here.
sold us yo-yos.
Yeah, we had that as well.
But which I thought about a few years ago, and I was like, how did that relate to school at all?
It didn't.
And how did this yo-yo company
The school got kickbacks.
talk its way into
Yeah,
that?
the big yo-yo really
Big
did its
yo-yo.
number on.
Corporate yo-yo made its way through all of our shitty high schools.
It really made its way
The
through
Dunkin'
1996.
Corporation.
Hey, I want to hear your answers because I don't think they're as rad as mine.
Actually, Todd, it's more rad. And
Impossible.
So the ability we're going to map onto our Metal Gear is the character Zap. It's from the Zap. They're Sparky. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Bad start, Kyle.
Let's start over.
Hey, you guys remember Gim? He's the yo-yo one.
Yep. Kyle, why don't you give us your answer for the first time?
The Kirby power I want to map on my Metal Gear to make it an unstoppable force of destruction is Sparky's power, which by its name you can guess just shoots electricity. Because what are you going to be fighting in your metal tank, your metal walking tank, other metal walking tanks? And you know what's going to shut them down? A lot of extra electricity flying through the air at them. What doesn't get beat by electricity? Almost nothing. People in your way, zap them. Shape-shifting liquid metal snake, zap him. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
I don't think I need to explain more.
Eloquently said. Matt.
Yeah,
Kirby
I got
power.
a Kirby power, and it's way more rad than you two losers. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, best Kirby game.
No,
Combo
that's incorrect.
powers.
Nobody thinks that.
You could get, if you didn't know,
Are you gonna metal
you could
vampire
get a
this?
double-bladed laser sword, a la Darth Maul,
Shut up.
nothing works better than mechs except mechs with double-bladed laser swords, and that's what I'm gonna give my Metal Gear. a spark cutter, as it was called in Japan, a double-bladed laser sword. Darth Maul buff Kirby.
I'm gonna encourage you, Matt, to look up what a Metal Gear looks like and imagine that wielding a double-bladed laser sword and not cutting itself off at the legs, because I think you've picked the most silly option today, actually.
Also, I would like to point you to every drawing I made when I was 12.
Ooh, yeah. Metal Gear 1 came out in 98. Phantom Menace came out in 99. Andrew definitely has a notebook full of Metal Gears wielding dual lightsabers.
And Sonic characters. Ding.
And
There's
Sonic
definitely an
characters.
Andrew the Hedgehog in there somewhere.
Yeah, sure, fine. I see their Tyrannosaurus Rex-like anatomy, but
Yeah, good luck with that.
What you've actually created, Matt, is just a bad version of a battle bot. The one that you look at, you're like, wow, that looks rad, but it's not effective.
I don't know. I bet we could.
Had you given it an extra arm and a yo-yo, however, counterterrorism expert.
Yeah, Matt's bungled a real Beyblade situation here.
I don't know. We'll put an extender arm on there and attach the double-bladed laser sword to it. I still don't really understand what a Metal Gear is, so
I know, bud. I know.
that became apparent.
All right. Well, let's. So for closing thoughts, we'll keep this a little open since you guys have presented pretty well open and shut cases. Thank you. We got an OC. We got a Sonic OC here in the group chat. Thank you. Glad everybody can see that. So we'll start. Todd, give us your closing statements, or your favorite Metal Gear boss, or what you ate for lunch today. Really, whatever you want.
To answer the question that's been brought to us today, Screaming Mantis would be the most effective assimilated Kirby power to bring into the Metal Gear Solid world. However, there's another important thing that I want to discuss while I've got your attention. It is that ravens show empathy for each other. Also, ravens roam around in teenage gangs. And if you liked these two little bits of Raven Facts, I've got good news for you three, because all three of you have been subscribed to Raven Facts, where once on the hour, you'll now be receiving Raven Facts text to your numbers because I put it into ravenfacts.com. So
Everything Todd has said about Ravens today is so much funnier if you imagine him talking about the Baltimore Ravens and just like Matt sending out a team of spirit football players to attack his enemies, and like the Baltimore Ravens just like having a real solid talk about their feelings with each other because they show empathy, like Todd said, and just it's given me a lot of comedic joy. But I'm gonna tell you why an invisible four-armed tentacle Kirby is the way to go, and that is because it is an invisible four-armed tentacle Kirby, and it's better than stupid psychic Kirby and bad racist analogy Kirby, because it's invisible and it has 4 tentacle arms. Those are my closing arguments.
Fantastic.
Well, Andrew, to answer the last question you posed today, I had the new KFC spicy mac and cheese bowl for lunch, and it was very good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, muscly Kirby with a giant machine gun. It's the best.
Fantastic. Well, boy, howdy, was that an effective use of time? Why don't you all go around and give each other some good vibes?
Kyle, I thought the powers you brought today were pretty good. I mean, being invisible and having 4 arms and being able to stab things, that's pretty sweet, I suppose.
Isn't it? Isn't that cool?
Matt, your boss is the boss that, like, they finished all the other bosses in the game, and they're like, all right, we still have 3 more bosses to put into this game, right? And they're like, oh no, we've actually only got 1 left. Let's give them everything we were going to do for the other ones. But like, no. Like, that one was going to be, like, the one with the big gun and the one with the Raven powers. They're not the same boss. Like, they are now, I guess. All right, shove them in. Okay. It's pretty apparent none of us know what Metal Gear Solid is. All right. Good job, guys. I'm proud of us. We got here together.
Andrew's got a nice, like, palm mark on his forehead just from, like, deciding to continue with this episode after it became apparent none of us knew what we were talking about.
Also, ravens are extremely playful. and ravens have been featured in many myths. And these are just 2 more samples of raven facts, which
it has
I
not
want to
been an hour
reiterate.
yet, Todd.
I have legitimately signed all 3 of you up for.
So to continue with good vibes, Todd, you picked the most OP power today, because psychic is always the most OP option whenever we're deciding powers. So good job being that guy who's like, no, I have the best power. It's psychic abilities with a laser shield, and you can't do anything to hurt me.
It does seem to be a constant thread with him.
Yeah, it does.
I'm right here while you talk about me. I can hear the things you're saying, and I don't appreciate them.
You know what you did. And Andrew and Matt, because I don't know who anyone is anymore, because this episode was a fever dream. You picked the most original option today, and I actually really enjoyed that, mostly because, like Todd said, you picked a mashup of 3 bosses into one, and it's very cool. I don't understand why they did that in that game, because none of it seems to go together, but it's very interesting and good. So thank you.
Yeah, Todd, I really liked that your Kirby had 4 arms and was basically Dr. Octopus with extra powers. Also, Kyle, I really liked that your Kirby had 4 arms and was basically Dr. Octopus with extra powers. One with mind control and one with invisibility, both the powers that weird kids say they would have if they could have any superpowers. So you really hit the weird Metal Gear nail on the head there, guys. Probably better answers than mine, but I like the way mine looks better.
Yeah, because being the kid that just says, I have the biggest gun and also spirit ravens is so much better than being whatever you posed on us.
I'm not saying that it is. And I don't have a punchline for that. I'm just not saying that it is.
We're all losers here today. We all lost this one.
The biggest loser, though, was Andrew, who had to hear us talk about a game series that he liked in this way.
This wouldn't be the first time. Man, if only we had a side hustle kind of show where we would like go through crazy lore and stories in a long format. And
I don't want to do a lore cast of Metal Gear Solid. I will not be part of it.
I do, because it'll be worse than the Kingdom Hearts one.
Yes, give into the hate. All right. Well, I'm going to award. 2 of you obviously didn't win, didn't come close to winning. So one of you did win. So I'm going to award the 3 of you an award based on main characters in Metal Gear Solid 1. And this is going to be really fun for me and not for you guys.
So it's not going to make sense to the 3 of us who haven't played these games.
None of us will respond until you actually say so-and-so, you are the winner today.
That's correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle, you didn't win.
Okay, good. Thanks. Great. Good.
Kyle, I'm going to award you the Gray Fox Award. / aka Gray Fox, aka Frank Yeager, aka the Cyborg Ninja.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I know what all those mean, so you don't have to explain what award I won. I know exactly what.
So
you
I'm
mean
giving
by
you
that.
I'm giving you the Gray Fox Award because while you came in real hot, you came in real flashy, real cool. We thought we were gonna get a lot out of you, but you just kind of disappeared. And man, I really want a Gray Fox game. So good try.
Good. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Love you. Todd, you also didn't win.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna award you the Otacon Award. Oh wait, Otacon, aka
the Otacon Award, of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Otacon, aka Hal Emmerich, aka Snake's partner in crime. He's the Q to his Bond, if you will. Otacon is loyal. He tries really hard, but gosh darn it, he just never seems to hit the mark. He can definitely be told that he's got the most heart of the group. He's definitely a bit of a mascot, if you will, but he's just never going to get that leading man title.
Do you know who
Is Todd our mascot?
Do you know who would hit the mark? Ravens, because they are one of the smartest animals in the animal kingdom.
That's true, they are. So Matt, as our winner today, I'm going to award you the coveted Solid Snake Award.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that you're stuck in a room of psychotic murderers, people who can control your mind, people who have sniper rifles and can control wolves or whatever is happening, people with rollerblades who can who have C4, you have proven that all it takes is to have a barrel chest and a gun to win the day.
Yeah, it does. Hell yeah, it does.
And that is why you are today's winner.
There's a lot to be said about the fact that Andrew didn't choose two of the women, which were great options. Instead, he went with the man with the gigantic gun.
That's what it is.
This takes us
You've
into
got a
part
very
2
good
of
point,
this
Todd.
episode, talking about Andrew's deep-seated prejudices.
And thanks for listening in to Debate This. Please follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast. Check out our website at debatethiscast.com and look for my new show, Splintering Away from Debate This, where I just talk about Metal Gear Solid and the other things that I like.
Metal Gear Solid and Fire Emblem Three Houses.
That's correct.
On repeat.
That's correct. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review so more people can hear this insanity. Until next time, I'm Andrew Henderson.
I'm Todd, sponsored by RavenFacts.com. Thomas.
I am Kyle. I got nothing. I don't even know what happened this episode. Harper.
I'm Matt. This is the episode where we say the words big cloaca, Cole.
We're saying thanks for debating with that.
Gross.
And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerd.